was 18, my parents knew nothing. When I returned home at 22, I was amazed at how much they had learned on me. This joke sums up a lot of my relationship with my father. When I was a child, he was the quiet foil to the often turbulent hysteria of my childhood. Now as an adult, I wish I had paid attention to what he was quietly and thoughtfully saying. He was a man who lived by his principles, whose actions often spoke louder than his words. In memory of my father, let's spend more time listening to the quiet, reasoned voices. He was a man who did right. He did the right and just thing because it was the correct thing to do, because reason dictated it. He liked comfort, but only certain luxuries. Good food did not necessarily mean opulence. He lived the way he did because it was how he wanted to live. In memory of my father, let's find what we need, what we want to live a full, rich life because we want to, and not because we should want it. My father used to say, there are people I trust with my wife and not with my money but not with my life, and so forth. In memory of my father, think carefully before you judge a person. Remember, one mistake or many does not invalidate a person as a whole. Remember, some of our greatest leaders throughout history were deeply flawed people. In memory of my father, let's remember to learn from each other according to their strengths. In this time of shrieking hyperbole and constant screaming and talking heads and 30-second sound bites, it is ever more important to take the time to think carefully of the reality behind proposed solutions. Will they really work? And will they have the intended solutions? Most importantly, he would always say, well, did it work in the past? And there were many cities that were destroyed by this thought. Since that discussion I'd had with him, I too had watched as town after town sacrifice their future on the altar of the expedient and the short-term gain. I've driven through the vast, empty ugliness, wastelands of the so-called business-friendly towns that have died. I am sure my father, in his 91 years, has seen many more beautiful towns die than I. In memory of my father, let us think carefully through the hyperbole. Consider the reality of the long-term consequences of your choices. That said, I never remember him saying, I told you so. Though he did seem to get a certain satisfaction when we told him he was correct. He took a smile, his deep brown eyes. He always said that a good story was worth repeating, and I will list the stories that I will no longer hear him tell and retell. I will list the jokes that will sound different coming from other voices. When I retell his jokes, I hope that I will always hear the echo of his voice behind mine. In memory of my father, retell the old jokes and repeat the old stories to keep the voices of the past re-echoing for future generations. One of his favorite sayings attributed to his own father was, if you learn a new thing, you will never grow old. I knew in his very last days he was still learning and he was still paying attention and listening. In memory of our father, let us always keep our minds open to new things. My father's greatest joy was being surrounded